You've been hurt, haven't you? By people who promised to stay and didn't. By plans that fell apart no matter how hard you tried. By a world that keeps testing you, one disappointment after another. And somewhere inside you, a quiet question whispers, how do I stop breaking every time life hits me? This video isn't about escaping pain. It's about becoming someone who can look pain in the eye and say, I'm still here. Because emotional strength isn't built by avoiding storms. It's built by walking through them with your eyes open. These are 7 Stoic truths, timeless principles that can make you emotionally unbreakable. 1. You control only 2 things, your thoughts and your actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people live as slaves, not to tyrants, but to circumstances. They let every rude comment, every rejection, every minor inconvenience dictate their emotions. Imagine this: a storm hits the sea. The surface rages, waves clash, but deep down, the ocean is calm. That's what the Stoics aimed for, a mind undisturbed even when the world is chaos. When you finally understand that you control nothing outside your own mind, a strange kind of peace settles in. You stop demanding life to be fair. You stop expecting people to act differently. You start focusing on the only battlefield that truly matters, your own thoughts. Control what you can. Let go of the rest. That's not weakness, that's freedom. 2. Pain is not the enemy, it's the teacher. We spend our lives running from pain, heartbreak, failure, loss. But what if pain isn't punishment, but preparation? Epictetus was born a slave. His leg was broken by his master. Yet he said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about those things." Pain doesn't destroy you, your interpretation of it does. When something hurts, ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every wound carries wisdom. Loss teaches detachment. Failure teaches humility. Betrayal teaches discernment. The Stoics didn't seek comfort. They sought clarity. To them, suffering was not something to be avoided, but something to be used. Every time you endure without breaking, you're not just surviving, you're forging your soul. 3. Everything you love is borrowed. Nothing truly belongs to you. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. But we also suffer because we cling to what was never ours to keep. Your loved ones, your achievements, your youth, they're all temporary gifts. Life lends them to you, and one day, life takes them back." The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining loss before it happened. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. They would look at their children, their homes, even their own reflection and whisper, "One day I will lose this." That sounds dark until you realize what it creates. Gratitude, presence, love without fear. When you stop clinging, you start truly living. Because only by accepting impermanence can you appreciate what's in front of you right now. 4. The world owes you nothing. You weren't promised happiness. You weren't promised fairness. The universe is indifferent. It doesn't revolve around your comfort. Machiavelli once wrote that the world belongs to those who can adapt, not those who complain. Stoicism takes that idea deeper. Life doesn't care about your feelings, but you can still care about your response. Every time you say, "This shouldn't be happening," you're fighting reality and losing. Emotional resilience begins the moment you stop expecting life to cater to you. The Stoics didn't ask for mercy, they asked for strength. They didn't pray for easy lives, they prayed for the courage to endure difficult ones. The day you stop expecting life to be easy is the day you stop being fragile. 5. Your emotions are messengers, not masters. Anger, fear, jealousy, despair. We feel them and immediately obey them, as if they're commands, not signals. But Stoicism teaches you to pause, to observe your emotions without being consumed by them. Think of your mind as a fortress. The emotions are visitors knocking on the door. You can choose to let them in or not. Marcus Aurelius journaled every night to confront his feelings, not to suppress them, but to understand them. Modern psychology echoes this. Naming an emotion reduces its power over you. You can't always control what you feel, but you can always control what you do with those feelings. So next time anger rises, pause, breathe, watch it like a scientist studying fire, because that moment of awareness is the birth of emotional mastery. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. At first, that sounds morbid, but to the Stoics, death wasn't a horror, it was a compass. You could leave life right now, Marcus wrote. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you remember death, your priorities rearrange themselves. You stop wasting time on petty arguments, on people who drain you, on dreams that aren't yours. You stop postponing what matters: love, purpose, presence. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." When you live with death in mind, you find your why. And suddenly, every breath becomes sacred. The point isn't to fear death, it's to use it as a reminder. You don't have forever, so live like it. 7. True strength is serenity. The world tells you strength means dominance, power, control. But Stoicism teaches a quieter form of strength: serenity. Bonhoeffer, the philosopher imprisoned by the Nazis, wrote from his cell that true freedom is found within the limits of our chains. He understood something timeless. No one can imprison a calm mind. You can be surrounded by chaos and still be at peace. You can be betrayed, mocked, abandoned, and still stand tall. That's not numbness, it's equanimity, a state where you no longer depend on the world to validate your worth. The Stoics called it ataraxia, unshakable tranquility. It's not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. You don't break because the world hurts you. You break because you expect it not to. When you stop expecting and start accepting, serenity begins. Conclusion: the unbreakable self. Emotional strength isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about caring deeply, but standing firmly. The Stoics weren't robots. They loved, they lost, they cried. But they refused to be ruled by what they couldn't control. So remember these truths. Control your mind, learn from pain, accept impermanence, expect nothing, master your emotions, embrace mortality, seek serenity. Because one day, life will test you again. And when it does, you'll smile quietly and whisper to yourself, "I have already endured worse. I am unbreakable."